What is up, everybody, and welcome back. This is Back to Basics. We have a great show for you today, including Giddy Potts talking about his leadership role, and we take a look at football across the CUSA, and we show off our fresh new quarterback rankings.
All that and more coming up here on Back to Basics. But first, college basketball is on the way, meaning more talk about two-time CUSA champions, MTSU.
And while this season is a change of pace from the likes of Reggie Upshaw and Ja'Cory Williams, there is still plenty of talent to go around. From Giddy Potts to Donovan Sims, don't forget about Ed Simpson and Tay Johnson. Don't forget about names like transfer Nick King, and we can't act like Kermit Davis isn't the man with a plan.
Like I said, that includes senior Giddy Potts, who has taken on the role of a leader on and off the court. We have Steven Smith with more.
Hey guys, thanks for having me. I got to talk to Giddy Potts today. It was great talking to him. He's really embracing this leadership role. Here's Giddy.
All right.
I think that's one of the keys that we need on this team so we can be successful this year. Like I said, it's one of the things I wanted to do since I was a freshman, but there was a lot of guys over me, a lot of seniors. So sophomore year I stepped up a little bit, but I think this year the guys respond well, and I think we'll come out and have a great year.
Of course I had to ask Giddy about, being ranked #1 in Conference USA in the preseason polls. Giddy doesn't think so much about it.
We're not very good right now, but I think once we get rolling, I think our team will get better, and we'll have a great non-conference, and the conference schedule will be easier for us.
Potts and the rest of the Middle Tennessee squad look to build off what they have already made, attempting to take their third consecutive NCAA tournament appearance.
And on the women's side, their season already started against Tennessee Wesleyan University this past Saturday. So the Lady Raiders put up a strong showing, beating the Bulldogs 89-34. MT played together as a whole, especially on the defensive end. They only allowed 18% of their shots to go in. On the offensive end, they had 3 ladies in double digits, led by the one and only Alex Johnson. They play their next game against Trevecca tomorrow at 5:30.
A lot of excitement coming from both teams, and with that comes heavy expectations.
That's right. According to the Daily News Journal, both the men's and women's team are favored to win the CUSA as voted by coaches around the conference. Little side notes for you. MTSU led the way with 8 first-place votes. The women's team managed to pull 6 first-place votes. Both teams won the CUSA championship last year. Coming up here at Back to Basics, we are going to take a look at everything football in Conference USA.
All right, welcome back. This is a segment we came up with where we go through every game in the CUSA, break it down a little bit, and talk about the foes of the Raiders. So here we go. I'm going to send it over to Truman and let him educate us for a minute.
Hey, thanks, Will. As we know, it was a crazy Week 9 in Conference USA. Let's waste no time. Let's get right into it.
All right, so we'll go ahead and get things started with Florida Atlantic and Western Kentucky. The Owls of Florida Atlantic were able to overcome an 8-point deficit in the fourth quarter after scoring 22 unanswered points that included 2 Devin Singletary touchdowns along with a 49-yard touchdown reception by Willie Wright. Singletary had a monster game with 244 yards rushing and 4 touchdowns. FAU improves to 5-3 on the season, while WKU falls to 5-3, the same record as FAU. All right, moving on, we'll move on to FIU and Marshall. FIU was able to take the victory in this one with a 41-30 shootout victory. Marshall quarterback Chase Litton threw for 363 yards and 3 touchdowns, but it wasn't enough as FIU was able to knock off the Thundering Herd 41-30 in what was a key victory for them, now tied for second place in the East with Marshall with a 3-1 conference record. FIU improves to 5-2 overall in the season, while Marshall drops to 6-2. Moving on, we've got Old Dominion and North Texas. Another shootout in the Conference USA. North Texas takes this one 45-38. It was a much closer victory for the Mean Green than most people probably expected, but it was enough for North Texas to get its 4th conference victory. North Texas was able to knock off Old Dominion 45-38 behind 460 total yards on offense. Meanwhile, Old Dominion is still searching for its first conference win as they fall to 2-6 on the season.
All right, so we're running out of time here, so I'll go ahead and wrap it up. UAB beats Southern Miss 30-12 behind 209 total yards on the ground. Next up, we've got UTSA knocking off UTEP as UTEP falls to 0-8 on the season. That's a 31-14 victory for the Roadrunners. All right, and lastly, we've got Louisiana Tech knocking off Rice 42-28, and much like UTEP for Rice, the nightmare continues. They fall to 1-7 on the season.
All right, thank you very much, Truman. We'll be back right after this.
Miss Lee, this is Agent Williams from the tax office. Our records show an unpaid balance on your account. If you don't pay by end of day, you'll be facing jail time. Well, the fastest way to fix this is with a prepaid debit card. Can you go get one now? Yes, and we want to clear this up. If you just buy that prepaid card, put $400 on it, then call me back and read the numbers to me.
The moment they ask for a prepaid card is the moment you know something's wrong. Think before you send money. Learn more at scamowareness.org.
As a mother, you don't want to have to worry about this bill is coming, but then she needs this chemo. That's a decision you shouldn't have to make.
At St. Jude, a family never sees a bill at all, not one bill. It's like the world has been lifted off of your shoulders.
The treatment doesn't get any better than what you receive at St. Jude. It saved my life. It saved my daughter's life. It saved our family.
All right, welcome back, everybody. This is the True Blue Review, and how about we get it started with some MTSU soccer. And while the MTSU soccer team did lose to UAB 2-1 on Friday, they did get a good piece of news. Thanks to Old Dominion's 3-2 win over Charlotte, MT earned a spot in the CUSA tournament. The Blue Raiders are the number 7 seed in the tournament and will face 2 seed North Texas on Wednesday. Action starts at 3:30 p.m. Central Standard Time on CUSA TV, with the action being held in sunny Boca Raton. This will be the first meeting of the season between these two sides. The Mean Green sport a 12-3-3 record this season and have won 5 of its last 7. However, MT, however, has hit a speed bump in the last few weeks, losing 4 out of its last 6. More good news. The MT men's golf team concluded its fall season with a win at the MTSU Intercollegiate yesterday. The Blue Raiders won its second event of the season with a 586-36 hole score at the Old Fort Golf Club. Sophomore Chip Thomas took home honors in his first collegiate individual win with a 4 under par. Tyler Johnson finished tied for 9th at a 147 total, and Ho Young Kim finished 4th as an individual to finish 4th at the end. The men's golf team will be off until February when they make the trip to the Puerto Rico Classic. And to bring it all home, MTSU brought home its first CUSA championship in program history in cross country on Saturday. The number 25 team in the country took home the title, in part thanks to Jacob Cho's second CUSA title. Lead coaches named Keith Vroman as the men's coach of the year after 4 wins this season. MT beat Charlotte to win gold, while the women's cross country team finished 6th. Jacob Cho, Keejan Shamati, and Samson Lari all finished all-conference first team. MT will now prep for the NCAA South Regional on November 10th in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. MTSU is looking to qualify for the NCAA Championships for the 2nd year in a row. When we come back on Back to Basics, we're going to talk about the AFC South.
I never imagined this would be your first home.
I feel powerless. I can't stop asking why us.
I just want to hug and kiss you and never let go.
This is the hardest thing we've ever faced. I know it's even harder on you.
You are my little fighter. We're here with you.
I believe in you. Just 4 simple words, but to a child in need, they mean the world.
When you support a child through Save the Children, you're saying, I believe in you. Visit sponsor.savethechildren.org/believe today.
We cure 80% of children with cancer. If you think about that, I mean, go back 50 years, we were curing 20 to 30%. This is the miracle story of modern medicine. There's one thing we're focused on here at St. Jude, and that's beating this thing.
Suppose now sure she makes the sun seem deep in the North Sea.
Hey guys, welcome back to Basics. Let's start getting into our next package. Let's talk about the AFC South.
The top two teams in the AFC South had a bye this past weekend. First up, we have the Houston Texans taking on the Seattle Seahawks at CenturyLink Field. The Texans are fighting for the AFC South lead, while the Seahawks are in a sprint for first in the NFC West with the Rams. This game was an absolute shutout, with the Seahawks winning 41-38. Deshaun Watson tacked on his Rookie of the Year case by throwing for 402 yards and 4 touchdowns against the Legion of Boom. Russell Wilson hit Jimmy Graham with 18 seconds left for the game-winning touchdown. This loss puts the Texans at 3-4 on the year and half a game behind the AFC South leading Titans and Jaguars. The Texans will be looking to face the Colts this weekend in Houston in a must-win game. Emerging Texans wideout Will Fuller V caught 2 touchdowns, including a 59-yarder 2 minutes into the game. Russell Wilson also threw for 4 touchdowns, including the eventual game winner. The 2016 AFC South champions are struggling to stay in playoff contention, but the hope is there for rookie stud Deshaun Watson. Grizzlies continue their hot start to the season. Chandler Parsons had 14 points, 9 for 11 shooting, 6 for 8 for threes, rebounding season after disappointing last year. Memphis bench managed 67 points compared to Houston's 25. Memphis at 5-1 leads the NBA. They play Charlotte tonight at 7 o'clock. The Preds look for some consistency against the Islanders. Philip Forsberg scored his 8th goal of the season. Islanders scored 2 goals in the second, 3 in the third. Jose Soros had a .817 save percentage over 4 goals allowed per game. The Preds' record is now at 5-4-2. They play San Jose tomorrow night.
Welcome back. This Halloween, we have some teams that were a treat to watch and some who just tricked us.
Everyone deserves to have a decent place to live.
Everyone.
Todos. When a future homeowner partners with Habitat for Humanity to build or improve a home, they build a better future for themselves and their families.
For my family.
Para po sa pamilya ko.
Por mi familia.
With a little help, we all have the potential to stand on our own. Through shelter, we empower. Visit Habitat.org to provide help to families like these today.
Time is the one thing that we want more of as a St. Jude parent. Without the donors, I wouldn't have my Audrey.
El que St. Jude no cobra ni un centavo para nosotros significa quitarnos todo ese estrés, esa preocupación y podernos enfocar en nuestra hija.
That was the first thing I was like, how are we going to do this? When they told us that we didn't have to pay a single bill, I was like, wow, they pretty much have saved us.
They take care of our housing, they take care of our food, in addition to the best medical treatment that my daughter could ever have. So it allows me to focus on my daughter and getting her better.
Your seat cushion can be used to grant wishes.
Who said that? Hello?
Really can, you know.
You talking to me?
Sure am. Because the airline miles you earn and donate to Make-A-Wish can help send thousands of kids on their wish trips. So donate to Make-A-Wish today.
You really should, you know. You really should.
And give wishes wings. Because wishes work wonders.
Thanks, Nathan. Okay, this week the Bills' defense has been a real treat this season. They've only allowed around 16.4 points a game, and they hold offenses to 80 yards rushing on average. They're second in the league in both of those categories. The addition of Micah Hyde over the offseason has really helped the secondary immensely. Hyde has already amassed 5 interceptions this season. This is the Bills playing the Oakland Raiders last week. Leonard Johnson right here lays the boom on DeAndre Washington, and the ball comes out and falls into the arms of rookie from Boston College, Matt Milano. He takes it all the way for a touchdown. The very next play, Carr drops back, and the Bills cross the tackles, bringing pressure. Carr dumps it off. The ball's tipped by Preston Brown, and it's a tip drill. Micah Hyde gets his 5th interception of the season. The Bills beat down the Raiders 34-14 in this game. But this is Halloween, and it isn't all treats. The dreadful performance of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers was downright scary. While they rank 8th in the league in total yards and 2nd in passing yards, they score around 21 points a game. They've been cursed with a 4-game losing skid, and this offense has went ice cold this week against the Carolina Panthers. Right here, Winston drops back and dumps the screen off to Jaquiz Rogers, but the play was read the whole way by Luke Kuechly. The line didn't get any blocking, and he's tackled in the backfield. Jameis needed some help this week as he was hit 7 times. 3 of them were sacks, this one by Kyle Love. Winston drops again. There's nothing there. He moves up in the pocket, tries to make a play, and he fumbles, recovered by Kurt Coleman. Julius Peppers got the sack. Okay, so like right here, you look, he's moving up in the pocket. He tries to make a play, and he doesn't get it done. Just bad decisions by Jameis Winston.
Thank you very much, Jacob. Now let's head over to Truman for some quarterback rankings.
Hey, so it's good to be back. 2 times same show. I've got 3 guys highlighted from this week's quarterback rankings. Let's go get into it. So let's go ahead and start with Russell Wilson. Wilson delivered his 3rd 300-plus yard performance of the season, and this one was a 452-yarder. He completed 63% of his passes and threw for 4 touchdowns. This is the 2nd time this year where Wilson has thrown for 4 touchdowns in a game, and he currently has a 15-4 touchdown-interception ratio. Wilson has also led the Seahawks to a 4-game winning streak and has them looking like they're ready to make a deep playoff run. Wilson is really showing that he can excel as a passer and not just as a scrambler. All right, let's move on to Case Keenum. Case Keenum is a guy who's been quietly hanging around the mid-teens of my quarterback rankings, and he's slowly working his way up to the outsides of the top 10. Now, if we're talking talent-wise, is Case Keenum a top 10 or maybe even a top 15 quarterback? No, not at all. But the thing is, Case Keenum manages games, and he has his team at 6-2 right now, which is on top of the NFC North. When other guys are sliding, Case Keenum is doing his thing, and he's playing well. Moving on to my disappointment of the week, this guy being Matt Moore. Matt Moore was no doubt this week's biggest disappointment with a quarterback rating of 47.2. He threw 2 interceptions, threw the ball 44 times for 176 yards, and the offense did not score a single point all game.
Thanks a lot, Truman. Now let's talk a little bit about the World Series and what a World Series it's been so far, especially Game 5 last night, an absolute slugfest between the Astros and the Dodgers, ending up in the favor of the Dodgers. They're winning that game 12-11. You know, it looked like it might go all night, especially for us on the more eastern side, even into the Central Standard Time. What a game it was indeed. You can just see home run there for the Dodgers. And now a nice pitching duel here. Guess where this one's going to end up? Not in the seats, but in mid of center field. That's going to lead to another run for the Dodgers. And it would just keep being poured on and on in this game. Minute Maid Field seems to be a very hitter-friendly park, and that seems to be backed up here as we see the Astros taking that one. So what a game it is, Game 6 tonight. So thank you very much for tuning in to this week's episode of Back to Basics. We hope to see you here next week for our next edition. Until then, happy Halloween, and we'll see you then.